What is going on, guys? It is day. Nah, I'm playing. It's just an old habit. I apologize. So, if you thought I was gonna go back to my old videos, you are sorely mistaken. But I just want to come here and say, um, this past week has kind of been crazy. I just took the accounting exam and I posted that to my TikTok, link in the description below. But I also, for a couple days, I lost my jacket and I was hit with a pretty big snowstorm, and I eventually found it a couple days later. It was in the exact place where I left it. So, that was on me. It was a big blunder on me. But I just wanted to come here and say that, you know, life is a beautiful thing, and it doesn't always go to plan, because the thing is, right before I lost my jacket, I was actually celebrating a win because most recently my video just hit 600 views, and I was so happy that that many people viewed my video and around like 25 people liked it. I was so ecstatic. I just came off of a high, but then I just hit a brand new low. And if you haven't seen my videos before, whenever I hit a low, I usually go in like a depressed mode, and everything just spirals down after. But I also realized that I couldn't give up, and no one is going to save me if I don't have my jacket. And, spoiler alert, it was on me because I didn't really look at the last place I left it. But I realized no one would help me. No one's going to lend their jacket to me if something like this happened. I I realized I actually had to be resourceful, and utilize what advantages I had. So what I did was I actually layered up, and it wasn't as effective as the jacket, but it was something because I realized I was so depressed that I lost my jacket. I didn't realize how grateful I should have been for the things that I already had, because I don't know, maybe someone out there doesn't have a jacket when I do, and someone out there doesn't have a home when the snowstorm hit. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you really got to be grateful for the things you have rather than the things you don't have. And what's even crazier is I actually had backup gloves and everything, and I had warmer clothes, which I didn't realize uh, a couple days after I found my jacket. But it also goes to show that sometimes the person who's in the way is yourself. And it's honestly a mental battle because you do, the person you talk to the most isn't your parents, it's not your teachers, not your friends, not your family. But really, the person you talk to the most is probably yourself. It would be yourself, and then second to that is God. For me, at least. If you're not religious, then it just heed my word and say that the person you talk to the most is yourself, because you're always in your own mind, and you always have that person to talk to. And you got to understand, it's always a mental battle. You can control your thoughts, can control the way you live, and whether those thoughts come into fruition or not, it is up to you to decide whether or not you want to be aware of those thoughts, and whether or not you want to put those out in the real world. And that's really what I wanted to say. Like, and that's only because I've had like an interesting week. Very interesting week. I mean, I just took the accounting test, and like you said, like I talked about before, I may not get into Kelly. I may. Who knows? It all depends when the grade comes out. I know I have studied a lot. Uh, Maybe I didn't study up to my highest potential if I failed this test, but I really want to emphasize that whatever goes goes, because I suffered a very big high, then I experience lows, because it's not like you'll stay on that high forever, you know? You'll get a win, but then you'll get a loss, and maybe a couple more losses after that. You never know. It's up to you to decide how to react from those losses and how do you learn from that. Because I am a pre-business student, and this test, it could ride out my whole future. I have another test after this, of course, but I definitely do have to know where my place is and how hard I actually have to work. Um, if not, I know I'll be alright. And if I fail, it's definitely on me. But that's really what I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to share my thoughts. Like, I, I I'm not really trying to, go back to the old style of videos per se, but maybe I will um do a video like this every week just so you guys can hear my thoughts about the world. But yeah, to wrap this video up, you know, uh, don't be so sad after every loss you experience, because you'll honestly tell yourself that you'll be back to square one when really you've made so much accomplishments in your life. Is actually insane and unfathomable, because um, if I compare myself to who I was like in high school, like I've made insane progress, and that to me is so crazy. And I am proud of myself, and you should be too. Um, you should be proud of yourself about who you are today rather than who you were yesterday. But yeah, like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.